I got pretty good after years and years and years and years of experiencing it. I got fairly good at running with my instincts because I decided that was my most powerful tool. And they kind of like that because a lot of us are going in thinking, oh, and I did this for a long time, oh, what do they want? What do they want? What do they want? I'm trying to figure out what they want. Maybe they want this, and I think I'll do this because I heard that they want this, and I'm just going to go in and jump through hoops. Whatever they want, I'm going to do it because I want this role, and I'll do whatever. But honestly, think about it from their point of view. If you were casting your baby, a movie, you want someone to walk in that room with confidence and to be as close to the idea of the character that you would hope them to be. Not only that, but you'd like to see if they can take direction, if they can take an adjustment. So when you walk into an audition, it doesn't necessarily serve to be so rigid in your choices. Strong in your choices, but not rigid, because the director just might turn your head around and say, okay, try it like this. And then you need to try to adjust. So Frank and I were working very well together. He was adjusting me, and I seemed to be taking his adjustments very well. I convinced him I was from down south. We talked about that. I convinced him I was much younger than I was. I was concerned about that because they never discussed how old Percy is, but I assumed Percy was in his mid-20s. And at that point in time, I think I was in my mid to late 30s. And I didn't want Frank to know that. So I lied about my age. And he bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. I mean, you just commit, you know. Later on, ironically, Frank produced a movie that I was eventually cast in called The Salton Sea. And in The Salton Sea, I was asked to play a role opposite Val Kilmer, and Val Kilmer's in his mid-40s. Frank, as the producer, didn't want to cast me in the role, but the director did. DJ Caruso was campaigning for me in the role, and Frank said, nah, Doug's a really great actor, but he's too young. He's got to play opposite Val Kilmer, this baby. So we were at a Green Mile pre-Oscar dinner thing or whatever, and Frank was sitting at my table, and we were talking about The Salton Sea, and I hadn't been cast in it yet. And I turned to him at one point and I said, Frank, I hear you have some reservations about me playing in The Salton Sea. And he's like, Doug, come on, you're a great actor, but you're just too damn young. And I said, well, how old do you think I am, Frank? And he said, well, I don't know, you're like, what, late 20s, 30, 31? I told him my real age, and he almost hit the floor. He said, you're lying. And I took out my wallet and I showed him my license and I said, are you going to cast me now? So, auditioning is a dance between creating an illusion and telling the truth. Lying and telling the truth. After the first audition, to get back to your question, when I was asked to go back to see Frank a second time, Mally Finn called me, the casting director, and she gave me an adjustment. She said, Frank really loved what you did, but he'd like you to come back because he wants to see a little more vulnerability. Because I think the propensity was, and I don't think it was just me, I think a lot of us at that stage in the game were seeing Percy as the antagonist, the villain, and going in and playing him somewhat dark and villainous and malevolent. And Frank really wanted to see the little boy in Percy, the human elements of this person. This is when we're playing antagonists, we're playing the bad guys, yes, but we're also human beings.